How many people are we having now? Oh, one. The stream's barely starting and already 105 people. Great. We'll wait for 10 to 15 minutes and then we'll start. So, Kruti Abhinandan, excited for today's session?
Obviously, waiting for today.
We are excited but waiting for the juniors.
Yes.
Hope they are excited.
Acha, by the time we are waiting, we can discuss about last year's orientation. Like, it feels nostalgic how fast it has been 1 year.
Yeah,
I
true though.
still remember joining the orientation myself and waiting, and now I'm here hosting. So yeah,
Guys, if you have still not joined, ask your friends to join so that we can start the session on time.
yep. Call up your friends. It is an important session, so we don't want you to miss.
It's 3:32. We will be waiting up to 3:40 and then we will start. So call your friends, text them, call them. Just make sure that all of your friends are there in the orientation program because it's for you guys only.
Yeah, you should know the purpose of uh, why all of this is done. So I guess orientation is a pretty important session you wouldn't want to miss. Yeah, everything that we have planned for you, there are many new things, and I, I like, yeah. So it will be a good session. To all the people already here, if you have any question in mind before we start, then also you can drop it in the chat box. We will take all the questions towards the end of the session. So nothing about that. General
Yes,
questions
the
or
chat
anything.
box is
Yeah, go ahead, Kruti.
yeah, the chat box is open for the entire time. So whenever you have a doubt, just drop it and we will address it at the end.
Anything you want to ask in general to the seniors, anything about placements, anything about internship, anything that you want to be clarified, we will address it for you. 250 people already, nice.
We understand, guys, December is challenging.
Yeah.
Post lunch, everyone would be loving to have a good nap, but gear
Also,
up.
this is the that time of the year you wouldn't be having sessions. Normally, you would be celebrating with your family, but yeah, it is an important thing.
Yep, let's
So
get a bit serious.
yes, only 1 hour is all we are asking from you.
We will be waiting for 5 more minutes. We'll start at 3:40 sharp.
Almost 300 people. Nice. We appreciate that you're on time. Call up your friends and tell them that the session is live. We are just waiting for a few more people to join and then we'll start. Well, this is actually the tough time of the year, right? Abhinandan, Kruti, you remember like this point of time would be the
Yeah,
most
1 year
stressful
back.
time. Yes. Starting to worry about placements and how you would do.
And- But yeah, everything falls into place at the end.
Yes. Ultimately, everything feels so worth it. If you study and if you work, then ultimately you will reach somewhere. Actually, senior junior culture in our college is pretty nice. Actually, I don't know if there are a lot of colleges where we find such bonding.
Yes, like our juniors are can anytime come to us like for any help or uh,
Yeah.
anything if
Yes.
comes in their mind they can talk to us like anytime anywhere.
Hmm.
We hope that you juniors feel the same.
Good thing about a college is you get opportunities. So even if you are
Yes.
decently prepared, you would crack it. But that's the
Yep.
requirement. You need to be prepared. For that, we are there to help you anywhere at the point you need your help, our help. You can definitely connect with us. But most importantly, you need to follow a scheduled path, a timeline through which, so that you can move ahead in a structured manner, for which we are here to help you out. So it's about time, like 1 more minute to go. I guess most of you are here. If not, ask your friends to join in as soon as possible.
It's more like, no, you should be prepared with the right skills at the right time. Like
Correct.
once that opportunity is gone or once that time is gone, then you would have, for the same thing, you would have to do a lot of work more. So I feel like what training committee does is like they aware you about the mistakes or problems that you would need to face, or prepare you mentally or help you avoid them. So I feel like
Because
it is very important to know.
yeah, because the members are already in the training committee, they have already passed the stage and they know like
Yeah,
what all
exactly.
problems upcoming generation would face. So yes, Aniket, we can see a question, but we will be answering it at the end. Don't worry, don't worry. Just be patient. We will address all of your questions. Just be patient.
Hello, guys. Hello, hello. I can see so many highs here.
There is a question from Dark Knight. Will the effect of recession be there in the upcoming placement season? That too we can't answer. But what we can do is be better prepared, so that even if
Yes.
the situation is not that great enough, we would convert great opportunities into in favor of us.
Actually, no matter how bad the situation is, if you are well enough prepared, then you won't even face that. Like, yeah, uh, I think problem is for them who are decently or not that quite prepared, and they are just waiting ki somewhere we will get lucky, or some just because we are studying in a good college we will get a good opportunity. But if you are prepared enough, then it doesn't matter if it is recession, if it is something else, if there are no companies, but not so many companies coming, you'll still grab a good offer.
Because the present scenario also shows us that the students that are well prepared are not sitting unplaced, they are already placed.
Hmm. Yes, I agree.
We will be waiting till 45, 3 more minutes, and then we'll start.
Then we'll start.
Just call your friends, batchmates, anyone you see they are not there. Just call them.
Okay, Uday is asking, introduce yourself. Okay, we will. Don't worry. Keep the comments coming, guys. Like, we can see your comments, and don't think that we are ignoring your question. We will take it at the end. Discuss about off-campus placement opportunities. Yes, sure. We will.
Guys, last minute, just call all your friends, put the reminder in your branches, do whatever will make your friends come to the meet.
They should at least be aware that something is going on. And if they still miss, then it is their fault. We won't force them. But yeah, at least they should know that something important is going on.
Hello, Manjeet. I think we can start now.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Shaurya. I think we are good to go. So, hello everyone, and welcome to this training committee orientation session for the batch of 2023-24 students sitting for placements. I am Manjeet Pani, and with me I have Kruti Deepa Behra and Abhinandan Mishra, and we will be your hosts for this session today. Before beginning, I would again request everyone to drop any of your questions and queries if you have anything during the session, and we will take it up towards the end of the session. So, to begin with, like, what is the training committee? The training committee is a part of the career development cell in IT Rourkela, which provides a holistic environment for the students and encourages them their skill development. And it also ensures that each student is prepared to face the placement scenario. I'll begin by introducing the team. So our team consists of three chief coordinators, Shaurya, Swaroop, and Vaibhav, each leading their separate domains of software core and analytics. And then we have our team of training coordinators. So this is the core team of training coordinators. Then we have the analytics team of training coordinators. And finally, we have the software team of training coordinators who work together to serve this purpose. I would now ask Kruti to continue and explain the current scenario.
Thank you, Manjeet. So let us now look on to the current placement scenario. As we know that number of companies of different sectors and domain visit NIT Raulkela for placements. Until date, over 175 companies have already visited, resulting of 800 plus offers in the hands of our students. So the placement stats are as follows. 47.2% students are placed in power and heavy industries, FMCG, automobile, oil and gas. 32.3% students are placed in software and IT, BFSI. 15.4% students are placed in analytics and consultancy, and 5.1% students are placed in semiconductor, pharma, and education sector. And we're still working on it to increase the stats, to improve the stats. Now coming to 6 month internship, this is a thing that is recently introduced in the curriculum of NIT Raulkela. The company offers 6 month internship to our students. uh, during this internship, the students have to work with the company in order to know the workload, how the company functions, what is the process, and how would be the work culture while working as an FT in the company. So the timeline of 6 month internship usually is from January to July. The students going for 6 month internship does not need to attend classes. The only thing they need to do is appear for exams, that is the midsems and the ensems, and the rest things is handled by the college and the company itself. So the sectors that are providing 6 month internship are software and BFSI, for example, MathWorks, semiconductor, VLSI, for example, Texas, Qualcomm, and analytics and consulting, for example, GS Associates. Now, moving on to research internship. I hope that many of you have already secured an on-campus or off-campus internship that you will be going for in the next summer. But for students, those who have yet not secured any internship, this form of internship is a very good opportunity for them, as the research internship for in a research internship, a student has to work under a professor and contribute towards a specific field of study. Both it can be done both in core and non-core sector also. Some research internship programs are provided by esteemed institutes such as Spark by IT Roorkee, Surge by IT Kanpur, and also Global Link Research Internship by Mitex Canada. Other than this, students can also personally mail the professors of esteemed institutes, uh, uh, whom under whom they want to work, or under which project they're interested to work. And so, yeah, this is all about research internship. Thank you. And now handing over the mic to Abhinandan.
Thanks, Kruti. Now we would be discussing ahead the plan of action for the upcoming training session. Multiple sessions have been planned for all of you guys for the upcoming your placement or your training season for your internships. So entire hiring process involves many individual parts. Like there are many individual rounds to before you ace an job offer. That might include your CV shortlisting. That might include your GDs post that, your technical interview, your HR interview, your round with the founder. Many rounds have been involved. So for every round that you need to that you would be facing before your placements, individual sessions have been planned. Not just that, mostly when we are in our preparation stage, we focus more on the technical aspects of thing. We are more focused on, like, suppose you're in software, you would be focusing on to do DSA, or you are into doing analytics, so you would be into, okay, how do I ace in SQL. But we forget the one of the most important aspects of current placement scenario would be a communication. How well, how polished you are, the way you present yourself, the way you interact with the hiring team. So a lot of things depend also on the communication aspect as well. So individual sessions being planned in future would help you to overall become good enough in all aspects, so that not just ace the technical side as well as the communication side. So one of them would be our CV building sessions. So we would be organizing online training sessions that would be mostly focused on how to make an efficient resume, so that your resume gets shortlisted above other people. How can you make it strong? Like pointers, like making the resume on points. How do you highlight your achievements and your work? Like how do you make your work ex look impactful? How do you make your resume look good among the crowd? So all those things would be trained with the help of a committed team who would be going through the entire CV building process. Moving ahead would be the group discussion round. I guess your batch would have already faced once during your internship season last year. Same would be in this case. This time also you will be facing the group discussion round. Everyone has to attend at least one GD round, where you have to score a threshold level of marks. If you are not doing that, you would be reappearing the GD unless and until you don't achieve that threshold score. There would be panelists who would be looking into, would be evaluating you on various aspects, various grounds. How good you are in, how good listener you are, how well are you introducing yourself, how much relevant you are to the topic of the GD, how good you are able to grasp and within a limited amount of time. Not everyone can. It's not a debate where you are cutting each other's point. How good you are making the team continue the discussion. How well you are summarizing the GD. So a lot of aspects come together to become a good, to be a good person in, or a good GD uh, who can do ace the GD round basically. Moving ahead. Yep. The next round would be our practice aptitude test, which we call as PAT. So I guess everyone would have filled your preference list, that which sector you are preferring. Is it core or software or your analytics? So the first preference that you would have filled, you would have to appear a sector-wise online test for the same, where for your first preference, you would be getting core questions from. Post you are done with the test, solutions would be provided to you. And anyone, same applies here as well. If you don't score that threshold marks which has been set for the pad, you would have to reappear it unless and until you don't clear it again. Yep. So this is something new and exciting, I believe, from the training side. This is mock interviews. This is the first time that we are introducing mock interviews for your batch. In general, the entire hiring process, where someone gets naturally a little bit more feared, or is more, the pressure goes on really high, is when you go actually and face that one-on-one interview with industry experts or your hiring team. So to make that process a bit more comfortable, bit more easier for you, mock interviews have been planned, where which would include your resume evaluation, what all projects, what all past experiences that you have added, how good have you actually done that. So we would be testing you on those skills, sector oriented questions, and also that, so, and how training it ultimately, how to ace the interview round. It would also include that HR. So it would be a combination of both your technical skill sets as well as how good are you in your HR round as well. So it would be a combination of two. Yep, and some miscellaneous sessions. There would be department wise. So everyone has different departments. Different departments have different requirements, and on which subjects you should focus on, which are the topics of interest for the recruiting team, which is the current generations of the current industry requirements. So individual department wise sessions would be planned. You would have your HR interviews, as already mentioned, which would be testing you on how well you know the company. How do you research a company basically? What's a company's working culture about? How do you answer to situational questions? Many of the companies, if you come to know now, directly test you on situational based questions. So how do you answer that? What's that technique to answer them? There is something called star approach. I'm not sure how many of you know about that, but we would be discussing about that as well. How to answer the situational questions. There would be guesstimates, there would be case studies, prime requirement of anyone who is focusing for analytics or consulting. Yep. So this is a more about the plan of action for the coming training session. Now we would be briefly discussing and giving you an introduction about the different sectors that we have. As already mentioned, we have three sectors: software and IT, we have core, we have analytics and consulting. Now I would pass the mic to Manjeet to give you further knowledge about software and IT. Over to you, Manjeet. Your mic is on mute. Yep.
I'm really sorry. And thank you, Abhinandan. So let's have a look at the software and IT industry and how the general hiring process works for companies. So the first round is the resume shortlisting round, and there is nothing much in here. It's just the criteria is usually CGPA and skills, and it varies from company to company. Different companies have different criteria. They have their own preference on which skill to value more and which skill to value less. They have their preference ki whether to value CGPA more or skills more. And yeah, so resume shortlisting is the first round. The next round is online assessment, and online assessment also can vary a lot from company to company. The questions can vary and be very different. They can be in the form of coding tests, where you will have standard DSA questions. You will have like two questions or three questions, and you will have, for example, let's say 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours to solve all the two to three questions. Or they may be multiple choice questions on computer science fundamentals, like on all the topics that computer science fundamentals includes: oops, dbms, and all of that sort. They may include debugging and program outputs, like you would be given a code snippet and you would be asked, okay, where is the error, what is the output of this program, what would the program print, whether this program would run or not, or something of that sort. You would be given SQL queries, uh, to write SQL queries to judge what this SQL query would do, or what kind of SQL queries, or that type of questions. You may also get aptitude based questions, general aptitude based questions, because aptitude is very much relevant in software domain. And also behavioral questions, like some companies, they have a specific round to test your behavioral and situational skills. They have something called psychometric or personality test, where they will give you situations and they will ask you to what would be your response to this situation, or what would you do in this situation, that type of questions in online assessment as well. And finally, you will have interview rounds. Interview rounds can vary from one, two, or three. Usually, it is one technical round for sure. No, I think like no company hire students without interviews. So you have to face at least one interview for sure. And if you are lucky enough, then it will be technical, managerial, and HR. Like all kinds of questions will be asked to you in the one round itself. But like there may be multiple rounds as well. There may be a technical interview round, and if you clear that, then you will have a behavioral and HR round as well. Moving on to the next slide. So the prerequisite skills, like what are the skills that are required for a job in software domain? uh, I think most of this is the most important topic that we have to discuss it here, and you guys would be wanting to know this. First is the general problem solving aptitude. Like you should be able to solve any random puzzle thrown to you, or aptitude question thrown to you. Like you can go and practice this from GFG puzzles and India picks. And this is something that doesn't require quite a lot of efforts, because once you are habituated to the pattern of puzzles, then you are able to at least approach the puzzle, and with some hints from the interviewer you will be able to solve it. Next, you need at least one technical project, and you can choose the tech stack which is your favorite, which you want to work on, which is your interest. And but you need to have at least one technical project or some kind of work experience as well. Like for full-time opportunities, company prefer work experience over projects. And if it is a good work experience, like you have done something for some time, you have taken up a task and you have completed it in the duration of work experience that you are in, then companies give a lot of preference to you. uh, and it is also helpful, while it will also help you in your interview, because like as Abhinandan mentioned about the star format, there will be a variety of questions regarding your project. It will be technical questions, it will be HR questions as well, like what are the challenges faced by you during the project, uh, what are the challenges faced by you during the project, and what was your task, what was your action, and what is the response. And that is what exactly is the star format. So Up next is the data structure and algorithms. Data structures and algorithms is, I guess, the most important part in the software industry. Everyone would you have heard like DSA, DSA, DSA everywhere. All the YouTubers, all the teachers who are teaching, it's only about DSA. So yeah, DSA is the fundamental part. You have a lot of resources, and when I say a lot of resources, I actually mean a lot of resources. You can literally find anything about DSA in the internet available. You have GFG, you have Lead Code, you have Code Chef, you have Code Forces, CACS, Interview Bit, and the list goes on and on and on. So like you can follow, you can pick up anything, you can start practicing, and you can improve your projects on data structures and algorithms. And the next thing is communication skills. All of this preparation will go into vain if you can't deliver it in the interview. So no matter how well you prepare, if the interviewer can't judge you in the given time frame of your interview and you cannot deliver all the things that you have prepared, then it is of no use, right? So you have to explain, like you are very strong in DSA but you are not able to explain the approach properly. You are very strong in coding but you cannot explain the code that you have written properly. You have done a very good project but you are not able to explain what project you have done and how difficult it was to you and what are the things that you have learned. Then I don't think it is that it has any worth. So it along with all this preparation, you need to have at least a bare minimum of decent communication skills in order to ace through the interview. And this time in training committee, this has been one of our major objectives as well. And finally, computer science fundamentals, which form the foundation of a software engineer, like concepts like DBMS and SQL, operating system, computer networks, and OOPS are something like every software engineer should know. So proficiency in computer science fundamentals is also a key thing. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, these are some of our major recruiters that come to our college and hire people. I guess many of you would be seeing some new names, and some names are pretty old and pretty famous. Next slide. Yeah. Uh, if anyone of you has any question like why are electronics companies like Qualcomm, Texas, Nvidia, and Intel are considered electronics companies, why are they here in the software domain, then let me just clarify it that they come for software roles as well. So that is why we have put their name here, and they hire with pretty good packages. So yeah, they are also major recruiters in software domain. So that is it for software domain. I would pass the mic again to Abhinandan.
Thank you, Manjeet. I guess the software was pretty clear and bold from Manjeet. Moving ahead with analytics and consulting. Yep, next slide. In general, this is something which is not directly the path. So in general, we have an idea about what software actually is. In general, we have something, since we are in the branch, we have an idea about core. So many of you might not be having idea about what actually data analytics is all about, or what the requirement of what's the job profile looking like. So first of all, data analytics is all about there are many business problems currently. So first is getting the business problem right and discovering what the business need is. Second would be, once you know what the problem is currently, you need to collect data relevant to it, all sorts of data. It can be structured, unstructured, all kinds of data. Once you get that data, you filter it out, you analyze that data and predict outcomes. What could be the physical outcome, or what could be the reason for which this problem is occurring, or how do we approach a solution backed by data? Then you reach to multiple solutions. Then you find out which could be the best solution by eliminating them of various processes present, and ultimately you reach to a decision. That's basically what data analytics is all about. Next slide. Yep. So now when we come and discuss about data analytics and consulting, it's a little bit again confusing to bring a difference between what what a data analyst does or what a consultant does. Majorly, the work of a data analyst is about collecting the data, processing it, and analyzing the data so that you can derive valuable insights to it and make an informed decision. So it's about how well you collect the data, summarize it, and find a relevant solution to it. On contrary to that, or in parallel to that, if you see, the role of a consultant would be the advices that you have collected, you would use that advice and give guidance to organizations, those who need that help. Suppose someone has referred you that problem, you are a consultant, you would be giving them the advice and solution that yes, this is the way that you would be tackling the problem, so that, and this is backed by this data, so that you can leverage that data out and give a proper solution to the company needing to it. That's a general difference. Yep. Yep. Now, if we look into, I guess many of you, since internship season has already started, you would have started your preparation for data analysis, or if you're wanting to become a data analyst. If not, then this is a roadmap that we are sharing, which you can definitely follow. So first thing would be stats or statistics, getting your hands on statistics. That would include your basic maths, like your arithmetic, weighted average, your cumulative sum and all. So that would include your basic maths. Moving ahead would be your basic stats as well, in which like mean, median, mode that we have been doing, or standard deviation, etc. Next would be a very industry relevant software, that's MS Excel, which is highly needed whether you are in any of the domains. Even if you're in software, you're in core, Excel is something that you would be using in any of the domains. So if you focus more on analyst role, it would be basically doing some average, how do you concatenate cells, or if you go to a little bit advanced of Excel, like VLOOKUP table, or how do you remove the duplicates, or how do you make a pivot chart, how do you make charts from it, pivot tables. This would be basically part of your Excel. Next would be a SQL is nothing but a language that you use to interact with data. So any data you have, you would be writing basic and advanced queries to interact with that. That would also have your basic, like how to select, how to order, how to import data. There would be some of the basic queries, and advanced queries would also include like how do you do data time functioning, how do you make the query more, optimize the query basically. So that would be basically the part of SQL. Next would be a programming language, preferably Python. So then there would be learning about the libraries like Panda, NumPy, Matplot. You would be learning about those libraries. So that would be a programming language. Moving ahead would be data visualization and BI tools. So BI means business intelligence tools. There are multiple tools like Power BI, famously known, or Tableau, which we generally use to create reports, real-time reports, so that every day when your stats change, it automatically gets enhanced, and you get day-to-day updates. You don't need to wait. It's real-time integration. So Power BI helps you to create those reports, and at the end of this entire curve, you would be sufficiently equipped to crack a good job. Moving ahead. So now if we spread and understand what are the topics to prepare, some of the topics would be having a good hands-on on APT, making good fundamentals, making us fundamentals strong in probability and stats. It's a must. Having an idea about data interpretation, how do you interpret the data, guesstimates, famous, you can take any example. Let's say how many cups of chai is being consumed every day in NITR. So you go through the process about, yes, what's the right, you find there is a process to, how do you solve a guesstimate, like how you find the right proxy, you break the problem into clusters, you calculate each and find out the background and do the maths, and ultimately you consolidate all the pieces and validate that number, that yes, this is the way I approach the problem, and this is the way I reached the number. So you solve guesstimates, there are logical reasoning, case studies. And I also mentioned as programming languages, there are two, basically SQL and Python, which is the highest preferred. Tools would be Tableau and Power BI and Jupyter Notebook. Okay, moving ahead would be our recruitment process. Any company in data analyst or in a consultant role would be moving through three hiring stages. First would be your online test, followed by technical interview, and finally would be HR interview round. And online tests would be, I guess you would be familiar already with the internship season. Like you would be testing on aptitude, stats, data interpretation, probability. Same again, verbal reasoning, SQL and Python. Technical interview would include, since it's an interview, there will one-on-one with the industry expert, the hiring person who is there. He will be asking you guesstimate questions. He would be giving you with puzzles, which you need to be like on that time solving a puzzle becomes really tough. So unless and until you are not that much practiced or you don't have that many skills, so it becomes sometimes tough to crack it. So for that, practice is really important, which we would be doing a mock interview where you would be facing all those things. SQL, again, questions based on your project. So in your resume, when you make an impactful resume, you would have mentioned that yes, this is the project that I have done, or this is the past work X that I had, and I contributed in this way. These are my achievements. So the person who is sitting next on the table, he would be questioning you that yes, how did you do that? How did you approach? What was your way to do this, to solve this issue? So all those questions would be there. There is general programming questions, and finally would be your HR interview round. That would check how well, how fitted, how good fit you are for the company's culture, how much well you have researched about the company, and how well you know actually about the role. So it's basically overall understanding about how good the candidate is or how much interested he is for the company. Moving ahead, so to provide you some of the major recruiters where you can plan your dream role or provide it in your LinkedIn that yes, I am joining this, would be PhonePe, Fractal, Deloitte, and all the companies have been already mentioned. O9, some of the major recruiters of analytics and consulting. Yep, so that's it for analytics and consulting sector. I would pass the mic to Kruti to provide you further about core. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjeet and Abhinandan, for such beautiful insight to software and analytics sector. So let us now see how is the hiring process in core sector. Uh, Vaibhav, can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, so the core sectors, the subdomain of the core sectors are electronics, semiconductor, and VLSI. For example, Texas Instruments, Qualcomm, etc. Power and heavy industries such as Tata Steel, etc. Production and manufacturing, supply chain, for example, PNG. Automobile, for example, Bajaj Auto. And oil and gas, for example, Kane Oil and Gas. So these are the various subdomains of the core sectors, and students interested in the particular sector can apply for that particular company and get the placement. Yeah, now moving on to the general placement process followed by any company who is coming on campus for the recruitment. The first process becomes the resume shortlist, which is usually done on CG, but may vary from company to company. So yes, talking about core, you need to have a very good CG to clear this round, followed by online test. The online test usually consists of two sectors. First one being the aptitude, in which logical reasoning questions are asked, qualitative quantitative questions are asked. Next, domain questions are there. For example, the domain questions may differ for branch to branch students. A student from mechanical branch will be having the questions in his OT related to the core subjects he is studying in mechanical. Likewise, the students in electrical, electronics, EC, civil, metallurgy, uh, other branches will be having questions related to their core subject. So after the OT, the next round that is conducted by the company is the GD, that is the group discussion. The OT shortlisted students then have to participate in the group discussion, in which any topic, factual topic, it might be factual topic, it might be opinion based topics, or any abstract topics which is not relevant or not applied in your day to day life. Any topic might be there, and you have to speak for about 1 or 2 minutes um, relevant thing about the topic for at least 1 to 2 minutes, and you should be that loud and clear so that you are above other students in the panel, so that you come into the eyes of the interviewer. So that will obviously be beneficial. After the group discussion comes the technical interview, which is a one-to-one talk with the hiring team, like the recruiter. He or she will be asking you questions mostly based on your resume. like the things that you will be mentioning in the resume is very important, and it's important on your side to get any basic clear whatever you have mentioned in your resume, like the projects and the work experience that you will be mentioning. If any internship or work experience is there, then you will be mentioning that in your CV, and the questions related to that the interviewer must be asking. And you should be able to make him understand like what was your work basically, what the problems you were facing and how you deal with that, etc. Then comes our HR interview, which is the final round, in which situational questions might be asked to you when you are working in a team, which you will be when you join any company. If some specific kind of situation occurs to you, then how will you be managing it? HR interview, basically the HR judges you on your answers. So this is the process. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, so the prerequisite skills that an individual or a student needs before sitting for placements in core sector is a decent CGPA, which is very obvious. Otherwise, you won't be even able to pass the first round, that is the resume shortlisting. Then comes a strong resume. By strong resume, we mean to say that you are mentioning at least one or two work experience. Might it be industrial, or it may be research, anything, but there should be one or two work experience. And over that, a good co-curricular activities will be a star to your Christmas tree. And other than that, the subjects you are mentioning in your resume, you should be at least clear about those subjects. If any basic questions is asked to you on spot, you are able to answer all of them. Then moving on to a good project and internship, that is obviously very important, because a good project drives the interview towards your side. You will be like taking a great amount of time of the interviewer talking about your project in which you are confident enough that you can impress the interviewer. Next comes the aptitude practice thing. Yeah, you should practice the aptitude like very well, you so that if any on spot question is given to you, you are at least able to approach that question by giving some logical answers. Next, understanding of the core subjects. Make sure that when you are submitting the resume to any company, you make sure that the required skill set the company is asking, you should mention that softwares, maybe the subjects that is specific to that company. You are mentioning those subjects at least, and you are understanding the basics of that subject properly. Next comes the communication skills. Yes, that is so very important, because I have seen very skillful friends of mine not able to crack interview just because of their communication skills. You need to know how you should present yourself in front of the interviewer, so that he knows that you are fit for the company. And next comes the software. Yes, the required softwares, if any, you should obviously do well in that softwares. So can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, so the major recruiters of core sector are Qualcomm, Texas, Intel, Tata Steel, Nvidia, Procter Gamble, etc., JSW, etc. So yeah, this is it. Thank you. And now handing over the mic to the chief coordinators, Swaroop, Shaurya, and Weber. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Kruti. Now we would be going for the questions. Thank you everyone for waiting for so long. Yeah, we'll have the questions on screen and we'll try to answer each of your question. Uh, Shaurya, please, the questions.
Okay. Just a minute, Swaroop. I'll start. Okay, Swaroop, can you answer this question about timeline of companies that will be visiting for placement?
Okay, so what is the complete timeline of companies visiting for placement from different sectors? Okay, uh, I will answer this, but let me just give a little clarification. This committee will be concerned with training of the students to making them well equipped for the placement scenes. We would not be looking after the placements. We already have a team for that. We have the placement committee for that. I will give the answer to this question, but any queries for placement related scenarios should be directed to the placecom. You have branch representatives, you have PCs, you have PSS for that. You can reach out to them. To be brief, the companies start coming from July and August. Majorly in the beginning, there are software companies and analytics company that visit ourselves. In there, we even have electronics company and few core companies, and then the major chunk of the core companies start visiting us by the end of the year. Let's say from October to November. So that is the penultimate timeline. That is the ultimate timeline that actually happens for the companies visiting at NIT Rourkela. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, Shaurya.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of you are asking about recession because it's blooming upon us. So I would say this season was very bad for us, and I think we can expect it to remain like that for next year as well. But to answer this question, that intern to PPO conversion, is it risky to go for intern? I would say you should go for intern if you're getting an intern, because what happens is there are chances that some very good companies are coming for internships, and when you are sitting for placements and when you are appearing for recruitment, then the selection criteria is very strict. But when you are an intern and you want to get a PPO, then that is significantly easier than getting an FT offer in the same company. So yeah, so I would say you should go for intern. Uh, so there's this question about MTech uh, internship off campus.
Okay. So I guess majority of the questions that we are going to answer today would be on placements. But okay, good. So if we get an off-campus internship, will the CDC allow us to join and provide approval? Yes, the CDC would help you out if you have the guide permission for that. For more details, you can reach out to the placement team. They'll fill you in better on this. Okay, sure. Next
Okay,
question, please.
just a minute. Yeah. Okay, Vaibhav, can you
Okay.
answer the question?
Yeah. So bioinformatics. Okay, fine. So there are a few companies that are coming for bioinformatics since the past 2 years, and I guess with time there will be some more companies. So yeah, there is a scope in this field. So hopefully we'll even train you in this sector as well. So good times ahead.
Okay. I think Vaibhav, we have another question for you. Okay.
Okay, is there any? Yeah, this year was very nice for roles like data scientist as well as data engineer. There were very new companies, like all the startups that are coming nowadays are not going for data analysts. They are going for data scientists or data engineer, and even ML engineer. So with time, I guess the scope for data analyst is going down, and the scope for data scientist and data engineering is going up. So we have planned the training session accordingly, and we'll of course train you to for becoming a data scientist and data engineer.
Okay. Yeah, I would also like to add in this that with the advent of ChatGPT and generative AI, there will be naturally a hike in companies that will come for data science. So that is always there. Okay. Uh, Okay, Swaroop, there's this another question about MTech.
Okay, so the question is from which month company for internships will come for MTech CH branch? Okay. I guess it's already December, so the long internships will commence anytime now. The long internships are mostly performance based, so like for the long duration, like a year or so, and it is going to start from December itself, I guess. And for the other internships, I guess April to June will be the timeline for that. Again, the placement team will answer these questions better, so reach out to them after the session if you can. They'll help you out better.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I think your question is that this training session will be for all branches. Yes, it will be for all branches, of course, since we are a training committee for this institute. So it has to include all the branches. Okay. Okay, next question is in electrical, most of the students doesn't have a good CGPA. What can we do in this situation? See, you have to identify subjects where you have to score good marks and compensate in those where you won't get a good SGP. So I think if you are, yeah, you should be in your pre-final year. So just try to hold your CG wherever it is, and you can improve it whenever you get the chance. So take like stay in touch with your seniors who had good CGs, and I would suggest that for you. Okay, Swaroop.
Okay. What is the placement scenario for MTech students, especially in civil engineering? Okay, so for the core branches, you all already know that you all are specializing in certain fields. So you have to have a very good portfolio. There are, of course, companies that visit for placements. The scenario is good, but you have to have a portfolio of that extent, of that caliber to get selected in those companies. And on top of that, your communication should be way above average, because as an MTech student, the companies will want you to serve in positions that include management, that include interacting with people, guiding them towards a specific goal. So you have to be having an above average communication skill.
Okay, Vaibhav, can you answer this question?
Um, okay, so yeah, people without internship is a bit complicated term. So it should be like people without projects or something like that. They cannot grab a placement because they need to do a project or they need to do something that actually helps them to get inside any company. So you need to do at least one to two project so that that will make you go in any company. But if you have not done any internship, the for which we had a slide that you can do any research internship that will add up to your resume and that will make a good impact in the company.
Mhm.
So I would say without internship, it's fine. You can get a placement, but you need to do something in your summer so that that will add up in your resume.
Hmm. I think his question was, can people without an on-campus internship grab any placement? So I think
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of people actually do, because on-campus internship, the number is very less
very low.
than our placement offers. So a lot of people grab placements even if they do not have a on-campus internship. Just like Weber said, you should have a decent CV with the appropriate projects and appropriate skills, and you will have a good placement. Okay, okay. Vaibhav, can you answer this question?
So behavioral questions are it's like situation based questions. So you need to have a proper idea about the person who is asking you the question, followed by the company, like company's culture and all. And to behavioral question, you always should have a proper point of view For example, if there are a set of behavioral questions, they judge you on the way you think. You try to think to the question. For example, the question one will be means the way you approach question one should be you should be approaching the question two or three in the same way. If you divert in the way you are approaching to the question, then they find out that you are actually mugging up or saying things out of just to get into the thing. So you should be on your own. You should stick to one thing and you should go with it. So behavioral questions, we have session on that and we will actually train you on it. So looking to it.
Okay. Okay, this question is my main target is core sector, but I have started preparing for analytics and consultancy as my second preference. Should I focus more on core analytics in the next semester as I'm from core branch? Swaroop, can you answer this question?
Yep, sure. Okay. So see, if you are targeting core sector, I would ask you to stick by it, because obviously in core sector the competition you are going to face is relatively less than what you're going to face in analytics and consultancy. Imagine this: a company is coming to hire. Let's say you're from mechanical. A company is going to hire from mechanical, so you'll have the mechanical peeps as your competitors. But if you go for an analytics company, then it will be a hell lot of branches as your competitor. So I don't, it's kind of easier if you're well versed in core. You can confidently say that you'll be better, you'll be having better chances to get an opportunity there. And should you focus on analytics in the next sem? If it is the domain of your interest, then why not? But if you, like you said, you want to have core as your first target, so I would say that if that is your target, then stick by it. Of course, the core companies visit late, you'll see your friends getting placed and you might feel a little anxious, but it's okay. Eventually you all are going to get placed. Our placecom works really hard to bring in the companies for you, and we will work really hard to make you well acquainted with the scenario, to make you well prepared for all the worst situations that come in. So you can be assured that if you are sincere, you will be getting placed, and so that won't be an issue for you. Okay, sure. Let's move on to
Okay.
the next question.
Okay, Divyalochan is asking what about UI UX designing scopes? Yes, I would say there is a lot of UI UX designing scope, but one problem is like right now we are not getting enough companies on campus for UI UX, and that entirely depends upon how many good profiles we have from UI UX. So that is essential to attract the companies that are coming for this profile. So I would say personally, you should interact with your alumni, because we have some great alumni from I think ID and other branches as well. So you should contact them on LinkedIn, ask for referrals if needed, and build a good CV with appropriate projects, and then we can invite more companies. Okay. Uh, Okay, Rishikesh is asking, I am doing MTech in biomedical engineering but want job in software domain. I have done BTech in CSE. So will I get the opportunities or not? Swaroop, can you answer this question?
Okay, I'll answer this question for both MTech and BTech people and for all other courses that our colleges offer. Yes, you have scope for getting placed in software companies, even if you're not from a CS or a circuital branch. But the same thing goes that your skill set has to be very good. You have to have a portfolio, you have to have a resume that will attract the recruiters. Yes, there are a lot of companies that will come and give you the opportunity to sit for their placements, but you have to be that well versed so that you can compete with the CS and the circuital people for that exact position. So yes, you will be getting the opportunities, but you have to work hard enough to be, at a position to make use of that opportunities or to grab those opportunities.
Okay. Hmm. Vaibhav, there's this question Swastik is
Okay.
asking. Hello, Bhaiya. He's asking about FP branch. So
Okay.
I think you
So
are well equipped to answer this question.
yeah. So the current placement scenario in FP core is not that good. We don't have that many companies who come for core placement, because I guess you all are aware of it that in our branch it's more like if you do MTech or if you have done PhD, it's they prefer those students. So in BTech, if you are looking for any companies, there are a few companies that the Placecom is trying to get this time. I guess you would have even got some interns in food sectors, but the thing is, it's not that effective as the other sectors that you have. So it's not that good right now. But we have sessions for this too. We'll try to give you a basic idea about what all things are needed for a core sector placement and food processing. So let's see what's ahead.
Okay. Okay, a lot of questions regarding this, that if you join an internship and you are rejecting the PPO or you are do not getting the PPO, then will you be eligible for sitting in campus placements? So the answer is no, you won't be eligible until the PPO results are declared. Even if you know that you are not getting PPO, then also you have to wait for PPO results. And after, if you do not get a PPO, then you will be allowed to sit in companies. So that's the official rule. But there can be some exceptions that you will know when you contact your placement coordinators. Okay. So I would suggest that you do not reject the PPO in the company you are interning at. Okay. Sir, how can we know about the software companies that are coming for FTE this year? There's only one way to find out. You have to wait because we, like your the people from your branch, they will be becoming placement coordinators, and how much hard work they put into bringing the companies in, that depends on them. It is a long fetch if I am trying to predict that. Yeah. So okay, why are there less opportunities for semiconductors? I think, yeah, there are less opportunities for semiconductors because what happens is semiconductor companies, they will prefer, when they're coming for FTE, they will prefer MTech students. And like there are only 4 or 5 companies, and semiconductor companies usually hire in a cycle. Like last year the hiring for semiconductor industry was very good, and this year it was bad. So like it's a bit unpredictable. So I would say if you are preparing for semiconductors, you should have a good backup. Yeah. Okay. uh, okay, can you elaborate more on research internships? Swaroop, can you answer this question?
Yeah, sure. So see, basically, in a research internship, uh, first of all, let me clear: there's no specific time for which, in which you should go for a research internship. Okay, you can even try for a research internship after your first year, second year, third year. Okay, so what happens? I'll just give you a brief about the process. So there are specific programs, like we stated in our PPT. You can apply through the procedure for that programs, and you can get enrolled in those programs if you get selected. Otherwise, there's another way in which you approach a professor who is working on a domain of your choice, of your interest, and you can approach him that you want to help him and you want to do a project under him on this specific topic. And if he has any openings, he will let you know, and in that way you will get an internship, and you can start working on that specific topic. So this is not an easy process. You'll have to do a lot of cold mailing, you'll have to reach out to a lot of professors. It takes a lot of effort, but at the end, if you really have an interest in research domains, if you really have a knack for research, and if you really want to do something in research ahead, then this is a great experience. It will serve as your academic work experience, and it would be a really great thing for you. So yeah, we'll have sessions on these. Probably we'll have sessions on these, and you'll get to know more about that. uh, Sorry, I guess you're mute.
Mute, yeah.
sorry. Okay. Aman is asking how will training committee start the training for placements and what will be the timeline for that. So, training committee is a relatively new initiative of our college. So, we are trying to improve over the last session. So, we have a lot of things lined up for you. So, we will be giving you roadmaps for how you should start preparation for your preferred sector. Then we have alumni session lined up for you in the next 10 days. Then when you come back to the campus, then we will be having branch wise meets, and then we will be having GTs and PATs, and we will also have an interview where we can measure you on a one-on-one interaction. So there's that. So we have a lot this year. Udayan is asking, there was a field in the registration form where you were asked to mention any skills you are learning prior to placement season. Will the training be provided in that specific skill? Uh, I think we cannot give training to, dependent on your responses. We have tailored out a method that will fit the general audience. So we will provide training according to that. But if you have any doubts, like you can come, like the person asked about UI UX. So you can come to us and we can guide you. Like you can go up to this alumni and you can ask them. So we can do that. But you have to take initiative for that. Okay. Narendra is asking, are internships from out of campus allowed? Vaibhav, can you answer this
Yeah.
question?
Yes, of course, it's allowed on a condition that you just submit. I mean, the like the acceptance letter should be submitted to CDC, and the internship is for the summer period. That's it. If both these criteria are filled, then you are allowed to go for any off-campus opportunities.
Okay. Uh, okay. So we have another question. What's the placement scenario of non-circuitous branches in software domain? Vaibhav.
Yeah, sure. So, see, I guess Swaroop answered to one of the question. It is almost similar to this. So, for non-circuital branches, you need to be as competent as the students from the circuital branches. It's their domain, so they do a bit well in it. So you should be as good as they are, and if you are as good as them, you have the opportunity as they have. And it's like if they get 100 companies, there are a bit criteria, so you will get around 50 to 60 companies that allow you. And uh, if you see the proportion of non-circuital and circuital getting placed in software domain, it's like 60-40, something like that. So yeah, you have the opportunity. It's just that you need to do very well, and we'll train you to do that. So yeah.
Okay, there's this question. If you don't do an internship, we will be losing 2 credits next year, right? Can that be changed if we do a 6 month internship? Swaroop, can you answer this question?
See, the 2 credits thing that you're asking for, that would be a SAR evaluation. That system basically started from our batch. Like we are the probably the first batch who are having a SAR evaluation of credits. So no, it won't be managed by that. 6 months internship is a completely different thing, and the internship that you're going to do in your summer is a completely different thing. So 6 months internship will obviously make up for some credits of your last semester, but it wouldn't impact any credits of the semester prior to that. So yes, you have to do you have to do an internship or a research internship or an industrial experience in those summer months if you want to get those 2 credits. And I would suggest you go for it because NITR can be very strict based on the academics, so you don't want to miss out on placements. Okay.
Okay, Ganesh is asking, Bhaiya, how and when will we know if a company is giving a PP or not? So you have to wait. That's the thing. Like there's no specific month. Every company is different. Some might give their PPO results in late July, and some might even wait till October or November. So that is very natural. So you don't have to worry. So our suggestion is that you go for the PPO because the market is not getting any better soon. So don't wait for that. So just get the PPO, and then you can maybe focus later when you want to switch a company after 1 or 2 years. Okay. Swaroop, another question for Sire.
I'm from core branch. I have not secured any internship yet, so I can see any more on-campus opportunity ahead. What can I consider the side thing? See, like we mentioned, you can go for the research internship. The only reason we mentioned the research internship was because we know that a lot of people over here would not have had the opportunity to sit for place for the internships and might not have gotten internship. So you can go for that one. Then you can go for industrial experience. Like if you're from a core branch, there are obviously industries wherein you can go for 1 month or 2 months training, and even that counts for SIRE. Or you can try for off-campus internships in any other domain if you want to. But if you are fixated on core, I guess the dark night you were fixated on core. So I would suggest go for research internships one or go for industrial training.
Okay. Um, Yeah, so Aman wants to ask, can you suggest the areas for projects? I'm from MTech CSE. So one thing you can have, since you are from MTech, naturally there would be more expectations from you when the recruiter comes. So you can have projects from web development, which constitute the basic when you're starting development. Then you can have some projects maybe from generative AI. So that shows that you know where the industry is leading to, and you have the market awareness. So that is the good sign. So you have to keep a balance between the two. Okay. Okay. Pavan is asking, as many companies not giving PPO can be set for placements in campus. Okay. So if your company doesn't have a PPO clause, then only you can sit for placements. But that is rare. Like that usually never happens. So for the summer internship that you are going to go to, so if your company is not having a PPO clause, and you will inform that to the respective placement coordinator, and they will figure out the situation. All right. Okay. I think we have covered most of the questions. Do you guys see any more questions, Swaroop and Vaibhav?
Mm, yeah, I saw a question regarding year gap. Can you
Oh, okay.
bring that up, please? Yeah. So there's this question: is year gap a factor? Like if someone has 2 years education gap without any job in that period, will it affect seating in any company? Okay, so I'll just assume that this is a question from someone who is in an MTech, who's doing a MTech course right now. So see, there are certain. This is completely company based. It depends on the company. There are many companies which do not have an issue with your year gap, and there are a few companies that would have an issue with your year gap. But it shouldn't matter ultimately, because if you have that skill set, then you will eventually get placed at a good place. So don't worry about that. Okay.
Okay. Pasupati is asking, will attending an international conference and presenting paper in such would help adding weightage to CV? Can you answer this question, Vaibhav?
Yep, yep.
Okay, so you will
Yeah,
answer.
sure, Rupya.
Yeah, I'll just say it for core, and Webov can give it for software and analytics.
Yeah,
So yes, if you are in a core department, then of course it will matter a lot. There are a lot of companies that look for these kinds of things. They are like, cherry on the top. So like if you have papers published in, let's say, IEEE or any of such papers, and then you have gone to certain conferences and presented on certain topics relevant to your domain, then that would really add weightage to your CV. Webov?
So for analytics and consulting, it's like it will help a bit, but projects are something that is that gets more weightage when it comes for placement. So yeah, it will have a weightage, but you need to do projects as well.
Okay. Do we see any more questions? Okay, Aniket, you are mentioning this question. Like, I address this issue. How can you overcome an issue? Because, yeah, but see, that you should have thought when you were applying for the internship opportunity. That's the point. Because you are selecting the company you will be interning at, right? So you will be missing some opportunities. So that is natural for you to expect. If we got a long-time internship, are we eligible for full-time placements? I am MTech E. Swaroop, can you answer this question?
Uh, okay, so long-term internships are eligible for full-time placements. Again, there are a lot of internships come in many variants. You have internship plus FTE offers, you have internship plus PPO clauses. So, to be very frank, this is a question that Placecom will answer better.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I would just ask you to reach out to the Placecom.
Okay, I think we have covered most topics. Uh, any specific topics like you are saying companies for instrumentation are coming or not? I don't think a lot of companies are coming for instrumentation, but again, like I mentioned for UI UX, if there are enough profiles from our college, then the placement coordinator can reach out to companies and they can call them. So that is necessary. Someone is asking how to reach out to PlaceCom. Okay, so you must have a group, your branch group where placements group where you would have a PC from your branch, right? Lipakshi.
They would be having internship group, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, internship
and
group. Sorry.
Yes.
yeah.
If you are from third year currently, you have the internship group, you have your seniors as PCs, reach out to them. When you'll be in final year, you'll have your friends as
A
PCs,
placement.
or maybe you can become a PC, you never know. So, yeah, okay. Someone asked, can we do a research internship and under an NITR professor for SAR evaluation? Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yes. But again, SIRE, the internship that are evaluated for SIRE, they have to be for 8 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. We don't have any
Karthik,
PC. You are from MTech. Okay, MTech, which branch?
So there would be someone who would be guiding them, right? So there would be some PC would be with them. So I guess they can contact them and they can
Okay, you're
ask
from
them.
CS. Okay, so do one thing, just drop a message in your WhatsApp group, WhatsApp training group, and we'll give you the contact of placement coordinator that you can reach out to. Bhaiya, will companies visit in the Jan April times for internship purpose? No, mostly companies will come after when you are in fourth year. So there will be some companies that can visit you during the summer holidays, but before that, I don't
some
think so.
companies might, like,
Yeah,
depends. You won't
yeah,
have as
depends.
much opportunities as you had this semester, but you will have few opportunities.
Hmm.
I
Will
guess we
the
have.
training committee provide department specific training? Swaroop?
Yeah.
See, we'll be going for domain specific training. We have, of course, targeted, like, for the core branches, we are doing our level best to divide it into the subsectors and provide you training based on those particular subsectors. And yes, let's hope that we accomplish what we are aiming for. And if you guys are supportive enough and if you guys are cooperative enough, then we will be doing that easily.
Yes. I think we have addressed a lot of topics, and I think that should be it. Okay, we have one more question. Is is summer internship or salary evaluation compulsory for MTech? If yes, where do we get its details? Hmm. Okay, I think we are not equipped to answer this question, but you can just contact us in the training group. You can drop a message, and we'll come back to you with an answer.
Yes. For those questions which we might have missed out, you all aren't present in training groups. You can always drop a text there, and the respective training coordinator or any one of us present there would answer you at a earliest. Okay, so you can do that if you miss out some questions.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can wrap up this session. You can. I think MTech has a lot of doubts, so you can just we'll ask you again in the group, and you can
Yes.
we can talk over there. Okay. You are saying please ask Placecom to conduct similar sessions, but it's not their job. Our job is to train you guys. So placement, and we'll also tell you about the
Placecom,
code
yes.
of conduct and how you have to behave. So that is our role, and Placecom is just there to bring the companies. They are not here to bring conduct any sessions.
Placecom works really hard for all of us,
Yes,
and they work day and night to ensure that we get placed, even with our minimalistic skills. So we should be grateful to them than expecting more from them. And let's just hope that we give them a better pool to showcase to the company this year,
yes,
so that we
exactly.
get better placements.
Yes, and in this time of recession, they are working day and night to bring a lot of companies since individual companies are not hiring that much. Yes, I think
Okay, I guess
we are done.
Shaurya, we can.
I think yeah,
Wrap up.
yeah, we can. We need. So we have various sessions lined up in the next
Mm.
10 days. So I hope everyone will join it and they will get some valuable insight out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can always reach out to us in your training groups. Okay, and you're welcome to do that. Okay, so we'll finish.
Any more
Thank
doubts that we
you.
have not addressed, you can reach out to us in the groups.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay.